Okay, I'm at the bottom of your English Schoology page. We're talking about the Atticus, the role model presenting evidence test. Capital T, capital E, capital S, capital T. It's a test. Really what that means is that it is worth 200 points instead of 100 points. So it's a double grade. And what you're being asked to do is you are being asked to present, well, first select and then present 3 pieces of evidence to support this claim that Atticus tries to be a good role model for Gem and Scout. And this writing test is going to ask you to present, again, 3 pieces of text evidence in which you transition into it, lead into it, tag whose words have been borrowed, cite it appropriately. The text evidence has to be punctuated appropriately. You have to lead out or explain how or why that piece of text evidence or each piece of text evidence supports the idea that Atticus tries to be a good role model for Gem and Scout. And you got to use those terms well. This is a test. You got this, though. If you've done a decent job of reading the book, and notice I didn't say good job or an amazing job, but I said if you did a decent job of reading this book, you can do well on this test as long as you understand those terms that I just highlighted. To get into the assignment, you click on this. It's going to open up in a document that essentially looks like this. And what you get is, let me zoom out just a touch so you can see the whole thing. You end up getting 8 pieces of evidence to choose from. You can see they're even numbered. And you're being asked to choose what you think are the best 3 pieces of text evidence. So that means 5 are not even going to be used. Best support the claim above. So which of the 3 best support the claim above? So you're going to have to read these. Decide which of the 3 you think you would use if you were to produce a piece of writing that presented 3 pieces of text evidence to support the idea that Atticus tries to be a good role model for Gem and Scout. And what's going to end up happening is once you have selected 3 pieces of text evidence, obviously each needs a transition. If this were an actual piece of writing, you might have to make some different decisions about the transition. The lead-in offers some context, like what's been happening in the context of this yellow stuff, and essentially, you know, what's been happening, who's involved, what's the conversation, if there's a conversation going on, where are we, when are we? So put the yellow stuff in context, particularly who's involved, what's been happening, because chances are, I looked this up ahead of time, by the way, because we're given the citation. This was on page 61. These are Miss Maudie's words. This may not be the attributive tag you end up going with, but as you can see, we've got the transition. You got some questions there to kind of help you write the lead-in. Of course, you can't write this lead-in without going back to page 61 and reading around this quote in order to figure out, well, what has been happening, who is involved, what is the conversation. These are definitely Miss Maudie's words. And then last but not least, how or why does the text evidence suggest, imply, or indicate that Atticus tries to be a good role model for his kids, which is probably what a future topic sentence would be. You need to do that 3 times. Because you are given the text evidence and you are given the citation and you're being asked to choose 3 of 8, I'm just going to tell you right now, number 1, this is not punctuated the way it needs to be punctuated. There's not even any quotation marks in this. And number 2, each of these concepts is going to be under a stronger microscope than normal because you're getting this for free. Can you write a good transition, good lead-in, an accurate and quality attributive tag? Are you explaining in several sentences how or why the text evidence supports what you're trying to prove, which in this case is that Atticus tries to be a good role model for Gem and Scout? You do that 3 times. Do it well 3 times, and you can earn as many of those 200 points for this assignment as possible. It is due on your Wednesday. Well, really, I would focus on trying to get it done before the end of the school day by Wednesday. That's totally doable. Even if you missed a day, which is probably why you're watching this video, because you missed a day. If you have any questions, send them to me via Schoology. This is probably the best way. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. Good luck.